Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, obviously, we're doing a glam zombie pop art look. So for the most part, I knew I wanted the zombie to be a lime green color. I just didn't know exactly where everything was going to be placed. So obviously you're going to see throughout the video that I just did a lot of sketching using the NYX Wonder Pencil in the shade Light, just because I felt it was super easy to use it, and anytime I made a mistake I was able to erase it, as you can see here. So right now I'm just sketching out where I want the mouth to be, because I wanted the mouth to cover the face as much as possible. So next I'm taking my Mehron lime green face paint. This is the color that's going to cover up majority of my chest and face. Here I'm just showing you guys a little DIY of just making your own water spray bottle. So I'm just taking off the label off of this bottle and filling it up with water. This is a lot easier to do when you're using a water activated face paint. Just a heads up that all the products will be listed below. So here I'm just using the Craft Smart Michaels brushes. So I started to just basically paint outside of the mouth, just because I wanted to make sure that this lime green color was definitely the color I wanted the full body to be. Now taking my ShopMissA Wonder Blender sponge. This was a pretty good sponge just to blend out a lot of the color in large areas of the face. So now moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be rotating between the Kokie Cosmetics eyeliner as well as the Mercier eyeshadow stick and just darkening out the eyes and creating, I guess, a smoky eye, because of course she is glamorous, so I do feel like the zombie needs some smoky eyes. Now grabbing my BeBella Cosmetics SLAYETTE Pro palette. This is the eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using for the entire look. So whenever I reference an eyeshadow, just know it's coming out of this palette. I'm going to be grabbing that royal blue color and placing that underneath the eye to look like, I guess, maybe mascara's been running. Next, I'm taking my Snazaroo face paint palette and I'm just going to start outlining where I want the brain to be. So obviously, again, going in with the pencil to sketch out a line. And then I'm just going to be filling that in with pink face paint. Now grabbing that pink shade from the BeBella palette, I'm just going to be setting the face paint as well as darkening the color. Now moving back to the mouth, I'm going to be grabbing my pencil again and kind of just creating a line so I have a guide for where the teeth are going to go. And then for the teeth, I just kind of created triangles right off of the line. Now taking my Mehron Clown White face paint, I'm just going to be outlining the teeth as well as filling them in. For the most part, I didn't have a set way of shaping the teeth, but I did want them to be intense and gruesome. So on each tooth, I just kept spiking out the edges in different directions. And there's even one tooth I'm pretty sure that has 2 edges. So you'll see that when I start creating them. Now going back in with the pink face paint, I'm just going to be filling in the mouth. I did feel like the pink looked a little bit too flat, so I decided to take the red from the Snazaroo palette and start placing that between the teeth and blending that in with the pink. Now I know right now it probably looks like a bunch of little flames, but once I go in with the black eyeliner to line them, it'll look a lot more like teeth. And I also found that using a Q-tip to blend was really helpful. So now I end up rotating between the NYX Matte Black Liquid Liner and the RK Beauty Liquid Liner. And I'm just going to start outlining all the teeth as well as the line in the middle of them. And I'm also later on going to kind of mark them a little bit with strokes just to make them look a little bit more realistic. So now grabbing the black Snazaroo face paint, I'm going to be outlining the mouth and then I'm going to start smudging that out and pulling that black inward with a Q-tip just to create a gradient effect. I'm also going to grab some black eyeshadow and place that between the teeth to give some depth. Next, I'll be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick. This is in the shade Stargazing. I'm just going to be filling in the lips as well as overlining them a bit. And then I'm going to be taking the matte black liquid liner from NYX and outlining my lips. And now for the nose, I'm just going to be grabbing my pencil and creating 2 points at the midpoint of my nose and then rounding it out at the edges and kind of at like a teardrop shape. And then grabbing the Snazaroo black face paint palette, I'm going to be filling that in. Now taking that black again, I'm just gonna line the edge of the brain. Now you don't have to be perfect when you do this because you'll see there'll come a point where I try to make the line super straight and I screw up. So if you do, just wipe it off and don't worry because everything's gonna get cleaned up. Now for the inside of the brain, I just grabbed my liquid liner again and just started creating a swirl and kind of a swirl off of a swirl. And then I'm just going to be lining the edge of the brain to create some darkness, as well as grabbing some black eyeshadow to fill it in, as well as creating some white lines. I'm going to start covering up my eyebrow with the Mehron Clan White face paint, and then going back to the eye, I'm just going to repeat whatever steps I did on the other eye on this eye. So basically grabbing like the cream eyeshadow, the liner, and start creating another smoky eye. Taking the royal blue eyeshadow that we use from the BeBella Cosmetics palette, I'm going to be placing that over the eyebrow. You can use any eyeshadow color you want, but I knew my wig was actually a light blue color, so I thought why not have her eyebrow hairs also match the wig. And then taking my liner and outlining her eyebrows. So I just switched over to an off-the-shoulder top so I can paint my chest without looking, you know, naked or anything. But now I'm going back to the face, and now I'm just going to add detail wherever I see fit. So grabbing the liner, I'm just going to go between my eyebrows, over my eyebrows, creating lines underneath like her eyes, around her nose, as well as the chin. And don't forget to complement that and contrast it with some white. I didn't know what to do on the other cheek, so I just grabbed like the edge of my eyeliner and started creating dots. At first, I wanted it to look like freckles, and then it started to look more like a disease even, so I just kind of went along with it. Now for the cheek, I'm going to be grabbing the blue color from the Snazaroo palette and applying that to my cheek and giving her some really intense cheekbones, and then blending that out. And then going in with the black Snazaroo face palette and blending that downward, and then going in with the pink eyeshadow and really just buffing it out and creating a super intense gradient effect. For the temple, I kind of just created a backwards C, and then again creating a gradient effect going towards my hair. Obviously, lashes are completely optional, but I love glamour, and so does the zombie, so I'm going to be taking the red cherry lashes and just popping those on. Oh, and I also drew a heart on her cheek because I thought she was a heartbreaker and she needs a heart on her cheek. So moving on to my chest, I'm just going to be taking my pencil again and creating 3 rectangles. And then I'm just going to go in and fill that in with the Mehron Clown White face paint. And now taking my black Snazaroo face paint, I'm just going to be creating kind of like a squiggly shape outside of the bones to make it look like an open wound. And then I'm going to be taking my liner and outlining the boxes. Bones. Now I'm just going to be filling in the open space with the black Snazaroo face paint, and then I'm going to start extending out the edges so it looks more like it's opened up, kind of. And then I'm going to grab some gray eyeshadow and start filling in the bones to kind of make them look a little bit more round, so I kind of fill them in like an L shape. And then I also start filling in the open space with some green eyeshadow just to make it seem like there's obviously some light getting in there. Also grab my liner again and just add those strokes to make it seem a little bit more realistic, and then of course the white. For the collarbone, I wanted everything to kind of look a little bit dirty, as if like she's been like rolling around in mud or something. So I filled it in with some black Snazaroo face paint, and then I blended it out with some black eyeshadow. To create like this little diseased looking circle, I just took some yellow paint from the Snazaroo palette and I drew a circle, obviously. And then I grabbed the black Snazaroo face paint and outlined it. And then I went over that with some white. And then to fill it in, I just used my liner and popped in some black dots as well as some white. And then for the other side, I basically first just drew a square, and then I drew some lines going outwards of the square, and then started to kind of curve all the lines going inward to make it seem like it was an open wound. And then I just outlined it with the black Snazaroo face paint, as well as filling it in a little bit. And of course, don't forget to outline it with some black liner as well as white. Now for some extraness, I just grabbed my TTDEYE zombie contacts and my blue wig that I'll link down below and got those on. Now I feel like every Halloween look has to be completed with some blood, so I'm just getting like this gel blood that kind of looks like bloody boogers in my opinion, and putting those in my wounds. So this is my finished zombie pop art look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching.